The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. After Jesus had spoken, a Pharisee invited him to dine at his home. He entered and reclined at table to eat. The Pharisee was amazed to see that he did not observe the prescribed washing before the meal. The Lord said to him, "O you Pharisees, although you cleanse the outside of the cup and the dish, inside you are filled with plunder and evil. You fools, did not the maker of the outside also make the inside? But as to what is within, give alms, and behold, everything will be clean for you." My dear friends, the Gospel of the Lord. A young Romeo one day wrote a letter to his loved one, and the letter says, "Oh my beloved Carol." Carol was the name, not Juliet, as you expected. "I am ready to cross the seven seas. I can climb the highest mountain. I can fight the most terrible lion in the world just to prove my love for you." At the end of the letter, there was a PS, a postscript, and says, "Dear Carol, I will visit you tomorrow as long as it won't rain." As long as it won't rain. The letter at the start is so beautiful. If you don't only read the postscript, you might be convinced that the love of Romeo to Carol is really true and heartfelt. But yes, my dear friends, there are people who are only good at words and even at the externals, but really from the inside are not true and genuine themselves. That's why this is what we have heard from the gospel today. Jesus spoke and challenged before the Pharisees because one time he was invited to dine at table, and he challenged them saying, "You Pharisees, you observe the prescribed washing before the meals. Although you cleanse the outside of the cup and the dish, inside you are filled with plunder and evil." Because the Pharisees, yes, on the one hand, they are very faithful to the law. They really clean what they use as prescribed by the law. They are very loyal to the law. They really observe the law to the letter. But Jesus also observed them that their observance of the law is only for lip service. They are hypocrites themselves. And in the words of Jesus, he said here in the gospel, "You fools, did not the maker of the outside also make the inside? But as to what is within, give alms, and behold, everything will be clean for you." Because their observance of the law is only very peripheral, but they are not really touched by what they are doing. They show all those things not because they are convinced about it, not because they are concerned about others, not because they are heartfelt in what they do, but they do it just to be seen by people. That's why, my dear friends, today's gospel reminds us also to examine our very own selves. I, for my part, especially we preachers, because the call, first and foremost, for us preachers is to really walk our talk, to really put in concrete, into action, what we really believe in. The gauge of one person who can really be trusted, who is really trustworthy, is seen in what he does, even if nobody sees him. If we do things truthfully, honestly, without even being seen and being praised by others, affirmed by others, heartily, then we ourselves might be on the way already of to perfection. But if we only observe things, do things just to be seen by others, without being convinced, without being touched heartily, then we might not be distant. We might be similar. There might be no difference from us, from the Pharisees. Because all our pious actions, all our religiosity are not really guarantees for us for being a good person. It's good, it's right that we really observe our religious practices, our pious observance and devotions. But what about if we are in our individual offices? What about in our individual business? What about when we are in the streets? Do we also observe heartily what we believe in? If we are so religious inside the church, but when we report to our office, we are still full of corruption. We are still full of dishonesty. We are still full of all our misgivings and self-interest rather than serving others. Then in front of us, Jesus might say to us, "You fools, you look clean from the outside, but please examine what is inside of you." Because what is more essential is invisible to the eye. Let us look at our own hearts. Let us examine our very selves. Because without examining our very selves, we might fall on the temptation of only being lip service, of only showing before others that we are good, but deep within, we are full of hypocrisy. Let us do away from what Romeo experiences before his loved one Carol. If we really write our love letter before God, let us write it in good deeds. The good deeds that is the background, which background is really our convinced heart in believing in Him. Let us do away from hypocrisy and present ourselves to God, genuine and true.